Welcome everyone. Sunday evening here and another live, my last live of the week. I'm just trying to find what I'm using in the catalogue, so bear with me a moment. Where are you? It'll be in the back. What is it called that I'm using? Let's have a look. Birds and Branches 120. Okay, I found it. I'm ready for you all. Welcome everyone. Lots of people hopping on and saying hello. It's lovely to spend some time with you. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. We sadly didn't get any snow today. Well, it snowed for about 30 seconds. The girls went absolutely crazy and it stopped. Well, it tended to rain and then it stopped. So we are without snow, but I'm seeing all these lovely snow pictures. So tell me tonight if you've got snow. We're still hopeful we might get some, but the weather forecast just looks damp, which isn't great, but never mind. I was hoping for a snow day, no school on snow days. So welcome to my Sunday night live stamping session, my last one of this week. It's been a lovely week. Busy, stressful, but still lovely. I've done absolutely nothing this weekend. I've taken a whole weekend off, haven't looked at my computer, my schoolwork, the housework. I haven't even stepped foot in my craft room, so yeah, it's been really nice. Unusually quiet, but it's been lovely. So tonight I've got a bit of ink bending for you, and I've tried to do something a bit different with one of the bundles in the main catalogue, so I'll show you all about that in a second. I've got my hot cup of tea and I'm ready to spend some time with you doing some stamping. So I'll just turn my screen around so you can see my desk and we will make a start. So bear with me everybody. Okay, let's just get this so it's set up. Yep, I think that's right. I think you can see what I can see, which is good. Yes, you can. Okay, we're cooking the gas, guys. So tonight I'm going to be using this lovely Birds and Branches set. Some of you may have seen me use this at Christmas. I turned these into cute little robins. Really, really lovely technique. I haven't used this hugely, which you'll be able to tell from how clean the stamp set is. But I do really like it. Every time I go to use it, I get sidetracked and it gets put away. But I do want to try and use it a lot more. Photopolymer stamp set. So you've got see-through stamps. They are a distinctive stamp set, which means that there's lots of texture built into your images, and then there's some layering options as well. So you can stamp this branch and then these leaves. The stamp is designed so that you just stamp that over there and the leaves are exactly where you need them to be. I've done something a little bit different with it. It's under here. I have made this card. So more so using the dies which coordinate with this set. So these are the Birds and More dies. A huge set of dies that go with the stamps. You've got some lovely outline dies for the birds, the nest, the eggs, the flowers, the heart, and then you've got some really intricate dies that coordinate with it. So you've got a lovely edgelet die, you've got an extra kind of flourish die, and then the one that I'm using this evening, and I'm sure you all know my love of circles, is this really lovely detailed circle die. So I will show you exactly how I put my card together. This one is available as a bundle in the main catalogue, so you can save 10% by buying them together, which is always nice and handy. Page 120 of your catalogue as well, and there's some lovely examples there with it for you. So let's put that to one side and let's make a start. So quite a simple colour scheme for us tonight. I've gone with the lovely Magenta Madness, which I'm really feeling at the moment. Love a bit of Magenta Madness. And then I've used some of these layering circle dies as well, which are another staple in my craft room. Okay, so to start with, we're going to need a few pieces of card. I've got a black card base, which is half a piece of A4 folded in half. I have some Whisper White pieces. Some are bigger than others. So let me just work out which way this is. should say basic white because we now have basic white. So this card that's on the pink piece on the top is actually starting as white, and that is just ever so slightly smaller than our back piece, just so that we get a little bit of a layer going on there. And then I have a piece of white for inside, so space to write on, and I've decorated that inside as well just to bring it all together. So to start with, you're going to need your piece of Whisper White, your smallest piece of Whisper White. I'll put all the measurements on the post once I've finished filming, so you'll know exactly what I've done. Now, good technique for blending, you'll see on here I've blended the whole piece of Whisper White, and there's not a fingerprint in sight, nor do I have any pink on my hands. So as good as you can try, you're always going to have oil on your hands, which will affect the ink and the way that you blend. So the easiest technique to use is take a post-it note, and it's glue side up. You're going to attach it to your fingers like this, so that you can hold your cardstock down without transferring any of the oil from your fingers onto your card, thus getting a good blend. So I'm using my Magenta Madness ink pad, and I've got one of the new blending brushes as well. So to try and get this ombre effect, I'm going to start at the top and build my colour towards the bottom, so you get that lovely ombre. Yeah. So because we're starting with a lot of ink at the top, make sure that your brush has got a good amount of ink on. You can always try it on your scrap, and then we're just going to take that to our Whisper White or basic white cardstock, and then just build the ink as you go down the card. Okay, and we're going to put quite a lot of ink on the top of this card because we want that pink to be really, really bold, and this colour is pretty bold already. Okay. If you end up with any sort of stripy bits, just kind of go over them and then just build that colour down. Just be mindful of where your post-it note is. And then as you build the ink towards the bottom, just kind of keep turning it. And you want it to be really light at the bottom as well. Okay. And just keep going until you're happy with what you've got. Remember to move your post-it out of the way. So there you've got a bit of an ombre style background for your card. Okay, now you'll notice on mine it has been embossed, so I'm going to use one of the embossing folders that are also in the main catalogue. I'll just bring my big Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in so you can see what I'm going to do. So this is the subtle 3D embossing folder. All you're going to do is pop your now pink piece of cardstock in, and then we need the bottom plates. We might get some if we have the bottom plates. Okay, so line that up. You're going to put your embossing folder on. Always make sure you put it in with the crease first, otherwise it will buckle your embossing folder. And then this is your 3D embossing plate. You can put it on the bottom. I like to put mine on top because it just holds that in place, and then just wheel that through. You'll feel a bit of resistance, but just pop that through until you get to the end. Don't worry if it makes a bit of a bang. And then inside our was plain piece of card has now got a lovely texture to it, and it just adds something extra to your card. And I'm going to add a little bit of spritzing to this. So I'm taking a water spritzer, which there isn't a lot in there. Let's just put some water in that 2 seconds. Still used to the fact that for the water painters, if anyone's got any of these, they open back to front. So where you would do righty-tighty to close and lefty-loosey to open, you do it the opposite with that. So took me ages to work that out. I'm just going to spritz that slightly, and that will just add a bit of water to your card. It'll just add a bit of speckling as well. You won't see it too much. Just drying that with my heat tool, and then to finish my background I'm taking a black Stampin' Right marker and I'm just using the felt tip end to add a bit of black speckling to that. It all just adds to the different textures that you've got on that card. So now we can start to put our card together. Have a quick read of the comments while I'm doing this. Bev's put, can't wait for my blending brushes to come. Oh, I'm so sorry. Bev, let's put me too. And Mum's put, mine are on holiday in January. Mine are on holiday with them as well. So for those of you that aren't in the UK or aren't sure what's going on, Stampin' Up use a shipping company called UPS, very, very popular company. Have used them since day dot, as far as I'm aware, and because we now have come out of the EU, there's delays on our orders. So Stampin' Up have done everything that they can to get those orders shipped. They've changed the packaging labels so that they now conform with the new guidelines, but there is just such a backlog with all the extra checks that now need to take place. So parcels are just taking super long to get to us. Orders that I made right at the beginning of January are still in Germany, so it's a bit of a nightmare. We're having to just go with it, we don't really have a choice. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that a lot of our stuff is stuck in Germany. But we can't wait for it to arrive. So all I've done for that is I've stuck my piece of ombre card to a piece of Whisper White or Basic White, and then I've attached the Basic White piece to my card base with some Stampin' Dimensionals, which are foam pads, just to raise that slightly. Okay, now here comes the fun bit. So we need to cut our detailed die, and we need to cut a white, not from that because that's the inside of my card. We need to cut a white scallop circle. So let's just bring our little cutting machine back in. I say little, I'm using the big guy tonight. So we'll layer up our plates again. Pop that on. So I'm going to do both of these at the same time. We'll put that one on there, and you need to make sure you've got a little bit of a border. All will become clear shortly as to why you need to do that. And then we'll cut our white one at the same time. Oh no, wrong way around. That's our top plate. So the bottom plate looks a bit well used, shall we say. I always try to make sure that I use the plates in the same formation on my cutting machine. You just get a better finish and your plates last that much longer as well. Okay, it will stop them from curving. Right, so we're cutting our intricate black circle and we're cutting our white scallop circle. Scallop circle has cut, that looks fab. And now with the idea behind this intricate one, it will cut the aperture in your card. So it looks like so. Now we need to cut that out so that we can then add it to the top of that white one. So how we do that is we take our layering circle die, which is a plain circle, and we're going to layer that just over, and you get a teeny tiny little border of black. And where's my washi tape? My washi tape. So washi tape is just going to hold that in place. Just make sure that is even all the way round if you can. And then we're going to run that back through. Let's move this out of the way. Now we're finished. So now what that will give us is that's given us this piece, which you can't really see. So it now looks like that. So you have a really, really fine circle that you can then use as an add-on to your projects. Just make sure all those little pieces are popped out. Oops, just put my die to one side before I lose that, which has been known to happen. Okay, so we can now stick these two together. Now I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue, and I'm just using teeny tiny dots on the biggest areas. Okay. So I'm not actually adding any glue to that circle because it's just too fine. I'm relying on those bigger pieces, there being enough glue to attach it with. Okay. That's it. And then take the back of your post-it again and just push that down. It obviously stops you getting covered in glue. So there we have our now silhouette. Okay. And we can then start to build this up. Now on my card I've got a little bit of ribbon tucked under. So this is black and white baker's twine that's from the Playful Pet set, and then this is some in colour ribbon from the main catalogue. Now let's just double check how much I need. So all I'm done is I folded it over and cut it off. Now this we're going to pop onto our card like so, kind of towards the bottom, and then I'm going to attach that with, where's my washi gone? Here it is, some washi tape. So, okay, so you don't need to worry too much because that you're obviously not going to see that bit. Excuse me, and then we can put this on over the top. So someone's put, I think it's the latest place to stay. I think you're right, at least they're all together. They are, they're having a great big party on our behalf, our boxes. And Paula, my auntie, has put, that looks good without the white circle on the pink card. Yeah, I quite liked that as well. Looks good, doesn't it? So then this piece I'm going to pop on like that. So it's starting to look like a card now. So we need to stamp some of these little flowers. These flowers come from the Birds and Branches stamp set. It's this little guy here. I'm going to stamp those in Magenta Madness as well. Oops, that's the piece for inside. And I'm going to stamp 4 of these. I've used 3 on the front, and I want 1 inside as well. Close my ink pad before I put my hand in it. I've done quite well with the ink tonight so far. So I'm quickly just going to cut around these. There is a die for it, but there's only one, so it will be just as quick for me to cut around them. So. I'm just leaving a little white border around the edge of those flowers, more so to tie in with the colour scheme than anything else. So, my heater has finally just kicked into gear because I'm now starting to feel rather warm. Let's turn it off. So this is one of those sort of designs that would look good in any kind of colour combination and also for any occasion as well. So I've used it as a thank you card. It would look good with a number of different sentiments. Sharon's, but I've only just recovered from fussy cutting those Siamese cats. Oh, Sharon did my one of my Playful Pets classes at the beginning of the year, and there was a lot of things to cut out, but it was worth it, I hope. Right, and last we need our little sentiment. So sentiment is thanks so much. That comes from, it's a stamp set called Moving Along that's also in the main catalogue, and it's just here. Nice sentiments in that one. Quite like using that on children's cards. Right, so let's just stamp our thanks so much, and I'm stamping that in Magenta Madness as well. And this is just a scrap piece of Whisper White. I'm just going to trim this down so it becomes a little bit of a banner. So now we can start putting it all together. We're going to use some of these mini Stampin' Dimensionals, which are very handy. Pop that just about there. And these flowers, you've probably seen me do this before, but I'm just going to curl them slightly, and I'm going to do that with the lid of my Tombow. Just pop them in the centre of your hand, palm of your hand even, and just push the lid of the Tombow in and turn. Okay, so let's put these on now. Put one there, and I'm going to put one flat on the card. The other one is for the centre of the card. Now I'm going to use some of the matte black dots. These are really handy. These are in the mini catalogue. They come in two sizes. You've got some large ones, and then you've got the smaller ones. The smaller ones are perfect for the centre of those flowers. 2, and then 3, and then just a couple of little dots to finish off the front. Okay, so there we have our finished card front. Let me know your thoughts. We've got a little bit of an ombre background going on there that we've used with the ink, with the blending brushes. I've got some clever die cutting there, and then just some layering with those flowers. Now for the centre, we're going to bring our blending brush back in, and I'm going to add some ink to the bottom corner. I'm going to try and go for that ombre effect again. So just use that excess ink that was on there from the front, and then I'll just build up that colour in the bottom. So it now looks like so. So you can actually add colour to your card really, really quickly with those brushes. Oh, I still need this. And we just want to stamp some flowers. Like so. And let's just do a little bit of speckling to bring the front and the middle together. That's it. And then we can stick that inside our card. Oh, that's the one I made earlier. That's my Blue Peter one. And then this is the one that we've just put together. For goodness sake, can't see the centre of the card. There we have it. Found it. So there we have it, our finished card design for you this evening. We've used, oops, they're now on the floor. We've used the birds and branches and birds and more dies. We've used the blending brushes to add ink, and that lovely colour combination of pink, white and black, which I don't think you can ever go wrong with. So nice thank you card design for you this evening. Thanks so much to everyone who's watched along this evening. It's been lovely to spend some time with you. This week I'll be live on, what days? Monday at 10 AM and Thursday at 10 AM, and then Wednesday and Sunday at 8:30 in the evening. So I hope you can join me. I look forward to putting together some new designs for you, and if you have any questions in the meantime about products or techniques I've used, just let me know, and I'll happily come back to you as soon as I can. So that's it for me tonight, guys. I hope you have a good week. If you've got snow, enjoy it all, make lots of snowmen. Really jealous that you've all got snow. I hope we have some this week for us to enjoy. So that's it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, and I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Take care now. Bye.